Hey everybody, Unstable Gamer here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Ultimus 6 raid. Now this one, I've got a lot of questions, and I've seen a lot of questions about how to clear the Thor node. I'm still working my way through this. It's still pretty difficult, but I have a pretty good, solid strategy that has not failed me yet. So we're going to go ahead and talk about that a little bit, and I'm going to show you what I do in order to get through the Thor node and on to the next node. But first, if you're just now finding my channel, consider hitting that subscribe button to stay up to date with all the newest content. Here is the Ultimus 6 raid. Now, my path takes me down here and up through the Thor node, and then I continue. Now, there's typically a node here to clear, so the Thor node is the 4th node. The first node, I usually will go in there and I'll throw this team in on that first node. The first thing I do when I go in here is I start burning Loki down. The reason for that is because I don't have a healer in here. I use Scarlet Witch to even out the health bars. And Mordo, his heal block, does not prevent Scarlet Witch from using her ability there. Don't worry about Mordo right there just yet. Loki, he's a pain, so I focus on Loki. Once I burn him down, I'll burn Doctor Strange down here because of the chance that he has to revive people. And then after that, I'll burn down Nobu or Mordo. It just depends on who has the least health after using Vision's AoE to put bleeds on everybody and Scarlet Witch's ability to prolong those negative effects. So I'll just burn them down according to health bars, and Thor is typically the last one that I burn down. I really haven't had too much of an issue with that. So that's how I handle that first node. Now that team will either clear the node or that team is going to get wiped out, and then I bring in my main team to clean up, and then that's when I start building up Storm's charges. If that team happens to clear the first node, which does happen from time to time, then I go into the second node, and that node is when I start building up Storm's charges. Let's go ahead and go into that now, and I'll show you how I handle this node. And when I start on the second node, by the time I get to the Thor node, I'll usually have around 15, 16, 17 charges on Storm. It just depends on how long these battles last. First thing here, I always go for Iron Man, and again, I don't use Black Widow speed up right now because I think it's a waste in the first turn because all the speed bars are pretty much full anyway. So I just use this first as an attack. Storm, and then there we go. So we'll just see, that really doesn't do much. I save the heals for when I really need it. And now I'll go ahead and stun Iron Man. And then I burn him down as he's stunned. Hulk will always get this up here, so we just attack him with Storm and then take that off. And then go back to Iron Man. Now, just because of the chaining abilities, I usually will take this guy out. I'm not worried about Hulk or Ronin, really. They don't do much to me. So I'm going to work on getting rid of the shield guy. Speed up. I will use this to clear that out. And then we've got a heal coming up that I'm going to use. And then here, I save Black Widow's stun. I save that for either Quake or Vision once they join the battle here in a minute. I'll do my health. Now here, Vision dodges a lot. So I will usually use the stun on Quake and start burning start burning Vision down. But he dodges so much, it's just nuts. So every now and then I'll try and stun Vision and work on Quake first. And that's what I'm going to try right now. I'm just going to see what happens there. Okay, got him stunned, and now we'll burn down Quake. Use his heal. And I got my stun back. And we were able to stun him again. And then that should be the last stun we use on him. And then I just use basics until he's out. How many charges do we have on Storm right now? We've got 8. Here's 9. And then we cleared that one pretty easy. Now this next node, I will take I'll take a team in there just to burn through the first couple phases of AoE attacks, because this node just decimates with all the AoEs they've got. I mean, it's nuts. Now this team, since my first burn team is usually gone or worthless at this point, I use my brawler team, which tends to work out pretty well. They still get wiped out, but it's still fun. But you know what? Since we have Yondu, I'm going to throw Yondu in there. Because one of the biggest challenges with this one is the taunts, because they just constantly come up. So let's go and burn through this team real quick, and then I'm going to come in with my main team, and then that'll set us up for the Thor node. Alright, and again here, I always focus on Iron Man first. And there's the double hit. Do that. And then there's the taunts that pop up. He doesn't always go Iron Man's direction, but it is nice when he does. Let's get rid of that taunt. And it didn't happen. And then this is where I start really losing my team, all these AoE attacks. But I think we'll be alright. Should be able to clear Iron Man, but I'm going to use this stun on Rocket, because it'll either get rid of him or it'll get him down pretty low. And it got rid of him. And with this will be good, because I should be able to get rid of Iron Man. And now I'm set up pretty nicely. So anything else I do in here is just bonus. Especially if I can get... Man, look at that. It's just crazy. Alright, now we bring my main team in here, and then we'll clean the node up, and we'll build up Storm's charges. And as far as placement, the reason why I have people here is I put Night Nurse at the end of any chain. So this is the last position for a chain, so I'll always put Night Nurse there on the opposite end of my tank. I put Black Widow behind my tank, because if the chain starts there or starts with Quake or anywhere else, when Black Widow is stealthed, then it's going to break the chain. So most of the time they do start chaining on my tank, and they won't get anywhere since I have Black Widow stealthed. Alright, so let's go back in. Now since I'm in here and Rocket Raccoon and Iron Man are taken care of, I'm not really worried about too many other people in here, because we're going to get to them pretty quick. Since this guy is almost dead, we're going to try and get him down. And then we'll work on these guys. I'm going to use her AoE, because she's not even... That AoE of Quakes isn't even really going to come into play for the Thor node. And even if it did, it would come later, and I'll have it back by then. Let's do a heal, because I knew that this was coming. And then let's do a stun. Let's see if we can stun the tank. There we go. And then let's start picking these guys off. Oh, didn't want to do that. Oh well. Now, I'm not worried about what abilities I have going into the next node other than Quake's stun. If your stun is up at this point, you don't want to use it. You want to save that for the Thor node, and you'll see why here in a minute. And there we go. Alright, going into the Thor node. And I still got 20 charges. When I first start this, and if I have all 4 nodes to go through, I usually will have to stop here because I've burned through my energy, and then I'll wait to go on to the Thor node. But it worked out well so that we can go into the Thor node, and then I'll show you the node after it. So for this node, I just used my main team. And we'll see how many charges I was able to get. It's probably around 14, 15, 16. That's usually where it lands. I do have orange material ability in Storm, so I can get up to 20. Alright, at the beginning of the battle here, we have Black Widow that's going to go, and then we have Storm that's going to go next. Right now, it looks like I only have 12 charges, so I'm a little light, but that should still be okay. We'll see what happens. Sometimes if I don't have enough charges, then this is usually where I'll have to stop. But we'll see what happens. So I am going to use Black Widow's to attack Quake, and then at this point we're going to go ahead and charge. You do not want to continue to build charges on Storm at this point. Every single time I do, my team gets wiped out, so I have to use her ultimate here. Alright, typically it does clear. Look at that, Spider-Man, he freaking dodged the whole thing. Typically it clears the board, maybe leaves one person, one enemy to fight. So we got a little bit more here than usual, so we're going to work our way through it. We do have a heal coming up. Now the reason why I said to save Black Widow's stuns is because you want to stun lock Thor and burn everybody else down before we start focusing on Thor, but that's usually what I will do. Alright, and I want to burn these guys down over here. Let's get our health up. You know what, I'm going to just get rid of him over there. Worried about Night Nurse a little bit. Okay, here's Quake. Put that offense down. And we really need to get Thor taken care of. And we need a heal here. Oh, there we go. Boom, stunned. Well, at least his speed bar reset. Alright. There. Should be good. And there we go. So that's how we typically get through the Thor node. Again, when I get here, I typically have a few more charges on Storm. But as you see, that still worked out. So since we have enough energy, let's go ahead and take a look at the next node. This one really can go either way. You have, in the first phase, you have Iron Man and Captain America, and they just tend to decimate. I try and stun Iron Man as much as I can. He just comes out of it pretty quick. So this one's going to be hit or miss. Don't know if we're going to get through it, but we'll see. And with this node, I just take my A-team in there. Now on this node here, how many charges do I have on Storm now? So we had 12 at the beginning, right? So we're all the way up to 6 right now. I will usually burn through my team here, and then I will either clear it or with just a couple characters left standing, or I will have to come in once my energy refreshes and then bring a secondary team in here, but we'll see what happens. I don't have Black Widow stun right now, so we only have one option. And these guys just hurt. Let's use Quake's slow and... Okay, we're going to need to heal. Hopefully they'll survive, and they do. Here we go with stunning Iron Man. Got 7 charges. It's not enough. Sometimes this will work really well. So what do we have? 150% damage plus 50% chance to slow. The slow is increased by 20% per charge, so I'll have a 100% chance to slow. 10% chance to stun. And 10% per charge. So we're at an 80% chance to stun. And it's hit or miss whether those stuns last for a long period of time or not. So we're going to go ahead and do it. Sometimes I use this and it works out pretty well. Other times, not so much. And Night Nurse is down. So I don't think we're going to be clearing this one. I got rid of a couple there. Just trying to keep everybody off Storm right now so I can try and build as many stacks up as I can of her charge. Should be able to clear a few people there, and then we got the final 4. I am going to work my stun on Deadpool, and hopefully we get a good chain. We don't. But usually when this team comes up, I'll always take Iron Fist out first. And then we're going to be using Storm's ultimate here to do some damage. We've got 3 charges. Do a little bit of damage there. And then hopefully we just clean it up. And it looks like we're going to. And there we go. Usually, like I said, I'll either not clear the node or I'll clear it losing a couple people. This is actually one of the better times that I've completed it because I still have 4 of my team here. Alright, so let's take a look at the team that I use as my main team. So I have Quake, Captain America, Black Widow, Night Nurse, and Storm, all level 66. Storm's at 4 stars along with Black Widow and Night Nurse. And then we have Quake maxed out and Captain America at 5. And I believe, yep, tier 11. And the rest are tier 12. Captain America's 12. So is Black Widow. Night Nurse should be. And Storm is tier 11. And there you go, everybody. That's what I wanted to show you tonight. That's the strategy that I've been using for quite some time, and it's been successful in getting me through the Thor node. And now I'm working on additional strategies beyond that point. I'd really be curious on what strategies you guys are using, what team compositions you're using, and if you could put that in the comment section below, that'll help not only myself, but everybody. I want to thank you for watching. If you liked the video, let me know by hitting that like button and sharing your thoughts and questions in the comment section below. Take care, everyone, and we'll talk to you next time.